Okay, we'll call to order and have a roll call.
Supervisor Alan Goldberg,
I am here.
Trustee Gail Schnitzer Eisenberg,
Here.
Trustee John T. Thomas,
Here.
Trustee Stephen Moser,
Here.
and Trustee Elliot Robbins.
Here.
Assessor Jan Churchwell.
Okay, well, she'll join later or not.
Okay. Administrator Ty,
Here.
Communications Director McCall, and
Yes, sir.
Deputy Clerk Sandy Forrester.
Here.
Mr. Supervisor, we have a quorum for business.
Do we have any guests? On Zoom, it's hard to tell.
Let the record reflect that we have a League of Women Voters Observer, Mary Lawler.
Okay, the record shall reflect that
We've got Danielle Rubin is with us tonight as
as
well.
well. Okay. Thank you. Trustee Eisenberg, do you have for our use a flag? That saves me getting the big one. Great, we're ready. We'll stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States
States of America.
and
to the republic
for which it
Stands
one nation,
nation
under God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty.
liberty
and justice for all.
for all.
Thank you. Are there a first round of any public comments? If not, I would ask approval of previous minutes meetings.
I move to approve the minutes of Township Board meeting November 10th, 2020. As
Second.
drafted.
Thank you. And is there a second?
I second that motion.
Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Supervisor Goldberg,
Yes.
last meeting, we set a new policy about doing a roll call vote. Would you like me to take one at this time?
Oh, I think that would be a wonderful idea. And I rely on your professionalism and assistance each step of the way.
So new things in wake of the pandemic. Supervisor Goldberg,
Yes.
Trustee Robbins,
Yes.
Trustee Moser,
Yes.
Trustee Thomas,
Yes.
Trustee Eisenberg.
Yes.
We'll take that as a yes, because I see her. So, okay, the supervisor's report will be brief. There's been a perfect circle of events that have that's too strong a word, that have affected the township regular order of business over the last several months. Certainly every public body is faced with Zooming and words that none of us ever really knew before, but that's the case with every public body. We have an additional bit of happiness in that our administrator, the person whose back this organization drives on, had the temerity to fall down a whole bunch of stairs and hurt herself, and is available on an as needed and emergency basis. That's Diane, who has been broken in any number of ways and is doing yeoman service to keep things running. And while she's always been vital to the township, the last couple of months have proven indeed how vital. I've also learned over the course of the last couple of months how sometimes superfluous the role of the supervisor can be. I've been experiencing a series of illnesses and medical quasi-emergencies over the last couple of months that I had no idea how debilitating a pill about the size of an eighth of an inch in circumference can actually be. but it's been an enormous learning experience and has taught me to rely on how truly good and dedicated our township staff is. And as you guys go forward into the coming years, keep that in mind. They're terrific. There is very little that, given appropriate notice, that they won't do. And rely on them. They're terrific. So that's the supervisor report. We have a requirement from the county that we file our levy ordinance. And I believe that is the purview of the clerk's office. So, Mr. Clerk, your turn.
Well, so we'll be following the levy, and it's just up to you to approve it.
I move to a public hearing on the levy.
Second.
All in favor of moving to the levy meeting?
All right, we've got to do a roll call.
Mr. Clerk,
Supervisor Goldberg,
yes.
Trustee Robbins,
Yes.
Trustee Moser,
Yes.
Trustee Thomas,
Yes.
Trustee Eisenberg.
Yes.
Thank you. We are now in our levy meeting. Now, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Supervisor, before we begin, we had a new visitor, and would you state your name so that we can include you in our meeting minutes for this month?
He's moving.
And if you'd also tell us what village you're from.
He's muted.
Oh. Push the red microphone button.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to.
Hi, you're asking me.
Yes, sir. I would just, it's important to include you as a visitor in tonight's meeting, and we'll put you in a minute.
So I'm a resident of Winnetka. And I just wanted to visit your meeting.
Welcome.
Okay.
Thank you. I've been trying to get in touch with Alan Goldberg. And I've
He's here.
been unsuccessful. I've sent you a couple of emails and a couple of voicemails, and I can't seem to get a response.
You will now, for the time being, I'm not residing in Evanston Hospital, which seems to have been my temporary residence or near permanent residence for the last several weeks. So I apologize for not getting back to you. That's not my normal practice. And if you will send another email tonight, I promise that first thing tomorrow morning, I will be in touch.
Oh, thank you so much.
So long
I'm
as
glad-
I'm not, so long as I stay off the phone or anything between now and 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
I'm glad you're feeling better.
So am
That's great
I.
news.
So am I.
Thank you.
And I do apologize.
I'll be in touch.
Thank you. Okay, so Mr. Clark, we're in the levy meeting.
Right.
I've read through as best I could the material sent to us on the tax levy, and the simple question is, it's sort of difficult to understand if this levy is going to be asked for the same or for an increase versus last year.
Jerome, I can address that.
Thank you, Diane.
To answer that question, there was a document that was included, John, that was
I've
called
got
the,
it.
okay, the proposed levy.
Yep.
Okay. Let me just outline that for you to respond to your question. Last year, the levy CPI rate was 1.9%. This year, the levy CPI rate is 2.3%. If you look down on the left-hand side, bottom part of the document, it says the 2019 extension grand totals. That
Yep.
represents the totals that the county has provided for the year 2019, which is that which we base the 2020 levy upon for the next coming fiscal year.
Yep.
The total of those two is the 3,079,960. 0.23% of that is $70,839. giving a total levy of 3,150,799. In the past and historically, we have probably the last 3 years, we have gone with this basic CPI levy or CPI percentage. We have historically added the whatever that percentage is. Last year it was 1.9, prior year 2.1, et cetera. Added that total amount to that which the county provided as the extended final grand total for those levies. We also had, with the general assistance, just not add in any dollars because, as everyone knows, regardless if we do add those dollars or not, we routinely will receive additional monies from the county based on their calculations.
So the the simple answer to my question is we're asking for 2.3% more, or asking, we're saying
Levying.
we're,
Mhm.
yeah.
Levying.
Proposal.
Levying, yeah, sorry.
Mhm.
So I move that we accept the 2.3% levy as detailed in the various pages given to us.
Okay. I have some confusion, which is not unusual, but Jerome, are you driving this meeting or am I?
No, it's just I presented to the county, but you could
Okay,
lead it.
okay, so John has presented that we accept the levy of recommended at 2.3.
Yep.
It's your
Any
super-
discussion?
If you, it has to be seconded first, you could be.
Yeah, we're talking money here, so you need a second and a roll call.
Indeed, we do. Thank you. So is there a second on John's recommendation or motion? Okay. Is there a second?
I second it, but I'm a little confused because I thought we already discussed with Diane some time ago the 2.3% and agreed on it. Now, it was my understanding, it's just now that we approved the draft.
Well, then we're approving John made a formal recommendation at this, our levy meeting. We have to formally propose it at the levy meeting, which is what I had thought we were doing right now.
Yep.
Yes, I thought we had previously agreed on the 2.3% that was recommended. I could be.
But Jerome, we weren't in a levy meeting.
Jesus.
This is just the formal approval, and then we'll sign the documents.
Yeah, we need to be in a levy meeting in order to assess a levy.
And you have to tell the county that, you know, it was approved by this many on this.
That's
day.
what we're seconding.
Yeah, I second John's motion.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes,
As it's the highest levy that we've assessed in recent years. And I'm just curious, and I don't recall the meeting where we approved the 2.3, but that's my memory.
but clearly Elliot recalls it.
All right, that's fine. But my only question is, we went up 0.4% from last year, 0.2% for the two prior years, and 1.5% from 18, 19, or 17. So is there a rationale for why we went up so much?
Yeah, the 2.3% and all the other CPI rates are determined by the county.
So that's strictly based on.
That's
CPI.
strictly, and that is the CPI, and I've confirmed that with the county. There's documentations and all that, then that is what the CPI is across the board, and that is the basis upon which we.
Okay, that's fine.
And you'd have to go back to 2016 where we actually didn't mirror the CPI. We mirrored the CPI in the last 5 years, I believe.
Correct. During those years that you're identifying, Elliot, there was a decision by that board that the funds needed to be brought down. And those of you who were around at that point in time with the township, those needed to be drawn down. Our balances were somewhat at an extended level. And the intention was to bring that down and not request additional dollars.
So we are staying with our tradition of levying no higher than the cost of living or less.
Correct.
Yep.
Well, it's the consumer price index. It's not the cost of living.
Sorry.
Nope.
So I was just wondering why we have traditionally gone with the CPI rate versus a COLA or another rate.
I think because the county tells us to.
That's one reason.
Diane, do you have institutional knowledge on this by chance?
Historically, the CPI rate has been reviewed by the board. In prior years, and I don't have this on this listing, they would sometimes perhaps go with that amount or maybe a little bit more. Routinely, they would stay with that, as I'm noted for the 2018 through back to 15. That's during the time when they were trying to draw down on the funds. And John is correct. That has been the routine assessment of that, is to go with the CPI rate, not to say that we are not able to go higher up to 5%, which is the limit.
Or
But the
lower,
board-
which we've done on occasion.
Yeah, but the board has decided not to.
Yeah, it's been the practice of boards going back at least 15 years and conceivably longer, but I don't recall.
I would just say by way of discussion that given the pandemic and still the uncertainty that lies ahead in the months ahead, even though it seems like there's some light at the end of the tunnel with vaccines being discussed and possibly being administered, I just can't envision a lessening of the need for our services, for our agencies. I just don't think this would be a time to go less than the CPI. So I feel very comfortable seconding John's motion.
True.
Is there any other discussion?
I'm still concerned that we're basing this off the wrong rate. I think we need to look at wages, because if our agencies, the increase in need has mostly been in them having to pay their employees more. Shouldn't we be looking at how wages are increasing rather than a basket of goods that they haven't changed in like decades?
Ellen, is there another, I'm sorry, Gail, is there another code that you'd like to work off of instead of the CPI?
It looks like cost of living would be 1.6%, the cost of living increase.
Are you proposing your 1.6 as a formal motion?
Well, there's a motion on the floor, so I
Yeah, I'm
can't.
aware of that. I'm just trying to straighten them out.
Yeah, so I guess I would be in favor of changing what we traditionally would have tagged our levy to cost of living rather than to the consumer price index. So I guess at this point, I'm not going to vote for the current motion.
Okay. So
Point of order. I
motion
think
on the floor. The motion on the floor is 2.3.
Right.
That has been made and seconded.
Right.
let's vote on the motion. If it's voted down, then Gail can make a new motion.
Right, but at this point, the motion on the floor is the 2.3. So we need to dispose of that one way or the other.
Yep.
So is there any other discussion on the 2.3?
The only other thing I would add is that this levy is across the board, and it's more than just the agencies. We're talking about our budget. We're talking about our programs, non-agency related programs. And I just think because the CPI seems a little bit higher this year, because of my anticipation that the needs will not lessen across the board for the various programs, agencies, expenses we have, I just would feel uncomfortable this particular year going lower than that number. But I don't know how scientific that is. I just would rather err on the side of a generous levy, but something certainly not unprecedented because we're following the CPI and we have for the last 5 years.
Certainly not unprecedented, yes.
All right, so we do have a motion on the floor with the second and some supporting testimony. Is there any other discussion or testimony on the motion on the floor?
I just have a quick question. Diane, do
Mhm.
we ever use cost of living as a calculation for the levy?
No, we have not. We've called the CPI, we've used that synonymously, if you
Okay, I
will,
thought
with
so,
the
but
cost of living,
I just wanted to
simply
confirm
put.
that. Okay. Call the question.
Call the question. All right, Mr. Clerk.
Supervisor.
What we're, wait, stop. What we're voting on is to approve a levy of 2.3%. Okay,
Supervisor Goldberg,
yes,
trustee Robbins,
Yes,
trustee Mosier,
No,
trustee Thomas,
Yes,
trustee Eisenberg,
No,
all right, the motion carries 3 votes to 2. That's a
and I will
majority
list
of a
in the
quorum.
minutes, just so you know, I will list in the minutes the 2 no votes and by name.
Yeah, we'll document the votes. But a majority of a quorum having voted in favor, the motion carries. Okay.
Alan, the
Yes.
next time you have a chance to get into the township office.
Do I what?
It has 3 copies of the motion or the ordinance now for you.
Yeah. Can you get it there somehow?
Yes, she's gonna leave it in your box at the township.
Okay, because I'm not sure of my availability.
Then I could actually bring it to you if you're not going in within.
I'm not going, it's my intention to not be anywhere within earshot of downtown.
Would it be okay if I bring it to your home
What am I going to do with it?
to sign it?
I can, I'll sign it. I'd be glad to do that. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I'm perfectly available to sign. I am not perfectly available to go downtown.
No, I didn't mean downtown, I meant the township office.
Oh, hey, I can get to downtown when okay. I think. All right, I will be available to sign.
Great.
Okay, so we now,
I move to reconvene the general board meeting.
yeah, to our regular board meeting. Is there a motion to do that?
So moved.
you just moved.
Second was Gail. All in favor, Mr. Clerk, I need,
Been moved and seconded to reconvene the meeting. Supervisor Goldberg,
yes,
trustee Robbins,
yes.
trustee Mosier,
Yes.
trustee Thomas,
Yes,
trustee Eisenberg.
yes.
So
thank you. We're now in a corporate meeting. Now we need to go into a corporate meeting for our 2 subchapter S corporations, the Courier and the Angel Fund.
Before we do that, in
Sure,
the packet, there was a truth in taxation certificate of compliance.
okay.
When are we going to address that, Jerome? Is that part of the tax levy?
Attached to the tax levy. So we've
So
never,
it's just part of that.
Alan and I will both sign it and submit it into the county.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's my understanding it's part of the 501c3 action.
I just
It's
wondered
all
when we address it.
together.
No, I wouldn't say it's part of the 501c3. It's
It's
part
how
of,
we have functionally established this order in the past. I don't care.
right. Yep. Just got to have it on, we have to have it on file by the 29th.
Right, and that's how we have functionally done that.
I've always just included it right with the tax
Yeah.
order.
But if we have legal opinion to the contrary, we'll follow legal opinion.
I move to adjourn to the corporate meeting.
Thank you. All in favor? Mr.
Aye.
Does that need a roll call?
Sadly.
oh,
We already did a roll call on that.
All right, yeah. Okay, so we're in the corporate meeting. The Angel Fund Corporation first. We need to approve the minutes of December 17th, 2019.
As
The sec-
Secretary of the Angel Fund Corporation, I have presented the board with a set of minutes from the December 17th, 2019 meeting. Does anybody have any changes?
Hearing none.
Yeah. I would ask that it be approved.
So now we want to have election of officers and directors for Angel Fund.
Don't we approve the minutes first?
Why not?
I move to approve the minutes of the Angel Fund of December 17, 2019.
Second,
Thank you, John. Mr. Clerk? all in-
Supervisor Goldberg,
Yes.
trustee Robbins,
Yes.
trustee Moser,
Yes,
trustee Thomas,
yes,
trustee Eisenberg.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So the new officers and directors are elected. Is that true, Mr. Clerk?
That's the way we've just,
Oh, okay.
we've accepted the slate as.
I'm just double checking here. So now we move on to the Courier Corporation.
A point of order. I think we just
Sure.
approved the minutes from December 17th, and I think now I will move for us to approve the slate of officers and directors
Yeah, that is
Second.
the next agenda item. So,
for the Angel Corporation.
second.
okay, all in favor, Mr. Clerk?
Supervisor Goldberg,
Yes.
trustee Robbins,
Yes.
trustee Moser,
Yes,
trustee Thomas,
yes.
trustee Eisenberg.
Okay, so that order of business is completed. We appoint the officers and directors of Courier and Angel Fund. So now we,
I move to approve the minutes of the December 17th, 2019 meeting of the Courier Corporation.
I second the motion.
Yeah, great. All in favor?
Aye,
Clerk?
Alan.
Yeah,
Supervisor
go
Goldberg,
for it.
Supervisor Goldberg,
Yes.
trustee Robbins,
Yes.
trustee Moser,
yes,
trustee Thomas,
yes.
trustee Eisenberg.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, somebody with great constitutional authority tell me what we do next.
The election,
you.
you have to prove the election of the new.
I was just gonna say, I approve the slated board for the Courier.
Thank you.
Yes, that's next.
Well, at least you said please or something. Okay, so now we reconvene to the board meeting, I believe.
Well, we
Not
still
yet.
Have to approve it.
We have to vote, yeah, do all the voting on that.
Supervisor Goldberg,
Oh, yeah.
trustee Robbins,
Yes.
trustee Moser,
Yes,
trustee Thomas,
Yep,
trustee Eisenberg.
Yes.
Okay,
I move to reconvene to the board meeting.
thank you.
second,
Okay, so we're back in our board meeting. Nice to see you all.
Take a call.
Mr. Clerk, we have a clerk's report. It's
Oh, I just want to give another roll call vote. It's taking.
Yep,
a
yep.
minute. Wait a minute. Supervisor Goldberg,
I'm here.
trustee Robbins,
Yes.
trustee Moser,
Yes,
trustee Thomas,
yes.
trustee Eisenberg. Hey, and as far as
Okay,
the report, I have no report, but in January, I'll have a great one because we'll know if it would be a contested election for the township. So we'll know. I do not know as of yet, and I know that they have a very strong slate from the Citizens League group, but the filing date is coming up soon.
yeah, we had a strong state 4 years ago too, so.
Might I ask, most of the people on the screen I'm looking at, except for Diane and Jack, are people in Wilmette. And we know that 4 years ago, it was the New Trier Republican group, which is headquartered and mostly in Wilmette, that came up with the alternate slate. Has anybody heard any rumors on it?
No, I ran into the New Trier Township, what is she, committee person or something. And I asked if they had anything going on and received no answer. I mean, it was incredibly rude. I received nothing, so I don't know. How's that for an answer?
I might make a suggestion, Mr. Supervisor. She might not want to remember that election 4 years ago. Just
It could well be. I'm merely passing
And
on.
I do want to clarify, Trustee Thomas, they ran as an independent slate.
Yep.
Had they wished to receive although they were actually not right, they were endorsed by the Republican organization, but there were a lot of Republicans that voted for the Citizens League slate and were part of the Citizens League. And just one other clarification, they did not, to my knowledge, do a caucus, either the New True Democrats or the Republicans. So
Yeah,
they could be running as an independent slate, as individuals.
yeah,
You know,
I have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah, but they didn't have a caucus meeting as far as I'm concerned, unless anyone.
They don't have to, you know. All they gotta do is get petitions signed.
That's true, but the easier way for a party is to run them as a.
Yeah, at the bottom line, we don't know. So,
I'll let you know right when it happens, but it could
yeah,
be right at the
it's
end of the
either
fight.
they will or they won't. It's,
They can bring them in anytime they wish during that period, so.
And Jerome, will you be in the office on the 14th?
Yeah, I'll try to be there as much as I can. I might even teach my classes from the township, which would be interesting. So
Do it.
I'm excited to see who comes in and
what's the deadline when people have to file?
it's oh, Gail, you probably have this memorized better. It's 2 weeks. after.
Ballpark.
14th through the 20. Hold on, looking at my calendar.
4 years ago was Christmas Eve, which
Which was
really
convenient.
weird, and they couldn't get a
Yeah,
change.
we had to meet at the bank for a
Yeah,
notary, I
gonna
recall,
be so.
and get to the county building before they closed.
Yes, 14th through 21st.
I should,
No report, no other report.
okay, so just clearing up the stuff on the clerk's business. Should nobody come forward to run as an alternative position, I don't know if that's the appropriate word, but if nobody else is running, I would like to meet with whoever is going to be running, just very briefly, to just welcome them to township governance, as carrying on the tradition of what we've been trying to do all these many years. Nothing formal in that, just extending an invitation.
Mr. Supervisor, since both you and I are leaving the board, I would be very excited because I'd have a longer opportunity to work with the incoming clerk and
Right.
squared away on everything.
Yeah, it would be, if in fact somebody, it would be great for you to meet with them, and we'll do the best we can. That's what we'll do. Okay. So we've done our clerk's report. Jan, did you show up?
I don't think so.
My
Alan.
guess then is we have no
Not
assessment
here.
report. Okay. Leonard's not here, all right. I would refer you to all check our highly current and voluminous courier to find out the news and information from the assessor's office. We now move to agency allocations and a discussion. I'm sorry. Next item on the agenda is 2020 agency allocation.
I move that we agree that we, as Brian has presented, not give them a limit and allow the committees to decide what their recommendations will be without any kind of constraints.
I
And they can
second,
recommend what they want, and we can vote on what of that amount we decide to approve.
I second that motion.
Did we
That's
just do
what-
that right, Jerome? I don't think we did that right.
What?
Jerome, you're
Did we?
muted.
I'll rely on John.
As I hear it, Gail is basically saying we ought to adopt what Brian suggested, just
But I
as
didn't
we
hear a
did
mo-
last year.
Yeah, I
Yes,
didn't
you
hear
made a motion.
So if we could have a motion, we could vote on it.
We have a motion. It's been seconded, so I'll call the question.
Yep.
Okay, Mr. Clerk,
Supervisor Goldberg,
yes.
trustee Robbins,
Yes,
trustee Mosier,
Yes,
trustee Thomas,
Yes.
trustee Eisenberg.
Yes.
I now heard a motion. Okay, and it is approved. We no longer have a consent agenda. We no longer have any of that stuff. We have acknowledgement of staff reports. Is there a vote on such an item?
And acceptance.
An acceptance, okay. So what do we do, Jerome?
We'll vote to
Accept.
staff report. And then the other idea, I'm going to put them right with the minutes, not in the, but I listed in the minutes, it said PDF files will follow. So that way you'll see the minutes and then you'll see the staff reports right there. It was
Sounds good.
I'm trying to figure out how to put them in the minutes, but it states right in there, the PDF files are here.
Sounds good to me.
Thank you.
Okay.
I move that we accept the staff board reports for Community Service Administrator, Communications Director, and Social Services Administrator as tendered recently.
I second that motion.
I didn't receive a report from Brian. Maybe that just wasn't included in my packet, but did other people get a report from Brian?
Yes.
Yes,
Oh, I only have the allocations.
Yeah,
That's all I got as well.
He sent an email earlier in the month.
He did.
oh, well, that could be why Jerome didn't get, not Jerome,
I
Stefan
did
didn't
read
get
it.
it.
Yeah, I assumed this was his report, what was included in the packet, and I found it to be excellent. I also like Jack's report too. I thought that was a great report.
thank you,
So
sir.
that's as usual, thank you.
Appreciate it.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the staff reports.
So now
Call
we
the
vote
question.
on it. Is that a roll call or is that a,
We're just gonna do everything as a roll call. It just
well, let's do it then.
takes the thrill out of it. Supervisor Goldberg,
Yes,
trustee Robbins,
Yes,
trustee Mosier,
Yes,
trustee Thomas,
Yes.
trustee Eisenberg. And I'm doing it in order of the way I see you on the screen, I hope.
duly noted. Okay, thank you. We acknowledge our staff reports. It is now time to vote on continuing business. Is there any?
I think this would constitute continuing business. I noticed in the Perspectives magazine that the Department of Human Services has updated the payment levels for general assistance to $319 for a single person. And the Perspective suggests that the supervisor can use its discretion to change those numbers, but it should be recorded in our minutes. So I would ask that you consider increasing our payment numbers.
second.
Okay, second,
I don't know if it needs to be a motion. I think it's within your discretion, Alan.
okay, fine, then we'll do it. If it's my discretion, boy,
Use it.
yeah,
What should I? put
doesn't
that
last
in
much
minutes?
longer, what the heck? All right.
Trustee Eisenberg, should I say the board suggests that he use it, or should I say trustee Eisenberg?
You can say,
The report.
my discretion extends to whatever you want to say.
Yes, and for those of you who are looking at your perspective, this is on page 22. And I can, I'll send the link around to Alan.
I have a point of information request. Is there, at what date does our new board assume office?
On May, okay, I think it's May 20,
A
24th.
Yeah.
We'll do a nice swearing in ceremony and I'll get to inaugurate, hopefully, Nicole, and then she'll get to swear in everyone else. It is on the 24th.
and we will have another annual meeting in the.
But we
interim.
will in April.
In
That's
April,
already been
yeah.
voted on it, scheduled.
Okay, so
But
there
the-
is one more annual meeting.
So we'll have one in April, if all things go well, in person, and then hopefully we'll be able to meet in person in May and have.
That would be nice.
Like we've done in years past.
Kind of remember what you guys look like, smell like, all that. I didn't say that. I guess I did. All right. Is there any new business? Hearing none, we are obliged to set a January board meeting.
I have down that our default would be January 12th. Does that work for everyone?
Is that okay with everyone?
I think so.
All right, so our meeting will be set for January 12th, failing any new wonderful
Any
things that come up.
disasters?
Yeah, right. I would like to add one thing before we adjourn. I have been affiliated with the township office for some time, 8 years as a trustee, 4 years as an observer, another 4 years as supervisor. So I think I'm second in tenure to Stefan Mosier at this point. For the first time, I've had the experience of receiving client services from one of our agencies. And I can tell you it's a different kind of experience, but a comfortable and fulfilling experience. And I was pleased to note that. The people at the agency where I received the services, I went to some lengths to see to it that they didn't know that I was the sitting supervisor. And the services were courteous, professional, and just well done. So I just thought I would throw that out as to the type of services we're delivering to the community. And it's a good thing. So I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Great. Do we need a roll call, Mr.
Supervisor
Clerk?
Goldberg,
Oh, I will adjourn.
Trustee Robbins,
Yes.
Trustee Mosier,
Yes.
Trustee Thomas,
Yes.
Trustee Eisenberg.
Yes.
I would like to say one thing before we sign off. Alan and Diane, during this holiday season, both of you and your health are in our prayers. We care deeply about both of you and we wish you good health.
Thank you very much.
Nice. I'll second that, Elliot.
I can use
I'll
all the
third
help
it.
I can get, as you noticed tonight. So thank you very much.
God bless.
Diane, on the other hand, is just competent all the damn time. So, okay, thank you all very much, and we'll meet next in January.
See you in the
Happy
new
and
year.
healthy, everybody.
Happy New Year, happy holidays.